Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. I'm the old school game snob, and I've been playing hardcore Path of Exile 2. My first character was a sorceress. She's not in hardcore anymore, unfortunately, so I re-rolled as a ranger, and I'm having an unexpectedly fun time playing this class. The primary skill that I'm going with here is the lightning arrow. Now, this skill hits a nearby target, and then lightning arcs additional targets nearby, and it kind of bounces off like chain lightning in Diablo 2 would be the best comparison there. It actually works really well. The lightning arcs go quite a long ways, and it does quite a lot of damage. So if you want to really exaggerate this effect, the Pierce support gem is really good, because now we're going to penetrate through multiple enemies, and each time we get another hit, we trigger off another set of lightning arcs. This can really stack up, especially when the bolts also bounce off of the geography, like trees and walls and that sort of thing. What I'm going to be using is a lightning rod. What this does is it puts down a lightning rod, which triggers a little AoE explosion when another lightning source does damage nearby. This skill really takes a nice turn when you add the scatter shot support gem to it. Now, instead of shooting down just one lightning rod, you shoot down 3 at a time, and each one triggers an explosion when there's a lightning source that does damage nearby. In addition to this, I also like to put in the magnified effect, which increases AoE effect by 40%. This gives us a really fast combo attack that is just exceptional for crowd control. But not only that, these are actually pretty handy for dealing with big bosses, because you can drop a few of these around its feet and then trigger them over and over and over again for these multiple hit chain attacks. The next skill that we're taking a look at is the escape shot. Now, this one doesn't necessarily do a lot of damage, but it can be extremely helpful in some very clutch situations where you need to not die, where you need to change your position, where you need to slow your enemies down. Very handy, very useful, very helpful. Has saved my life a few times already. The way it basically works is that you have to face in the way that you want to go backwards from. So basically, if you want to go backwards, make sure your cursor's on the opposite side of the direction you want to go. You can kind of control your jump, and you get better with it with a little bit of practice. This is, of course, with the twin stick movement style, WASD. And it is a lot of fun. So for my primary bow shot, I've added down the pin support gem. This can come in surprisingly handy with unique elite monsters that are charging after you, basically, and you need to get a little bit of distance.
An easy trophy.
So for my passive skill tree, there's not too much to say here in the early game, only a couple of options, really: projectile damage and evasion increase. But on that topic, especially if you're playing hardcore like me, what I think is probably going to be wise is to make sure you got a little bit of armor on top of your evasion. This is to help with those big, heavy thunks. I'm trying to work mine up a little bit better than that, like boss hits and that sort of one-shot stuff that'll take you down. Otherwise, evasion and armor, and what I've actually focused in a little bit on here is life regeneration. That's because my mana shield is quite weak. But the nice thing about regen on health is that it ticks healing right away. That healing tick starts right away. Instead of the mana shield needing that 4-second delay without any damage to start ticking up, the regen starts right away. So as a ranger, you can kite, and just keep this ticking up, ticking up, ticking up. One item that you're going to want to find, I bought this from a vendor. This is a gain 2 life per hit enemy, not per killed enemy, but per hit enemy. This is incredibly powerful healing, because the chaining of the lightning attack that arcs to different enemies counts as a hit. Let me show you how well this works. So I'm going to take a little damage here first, and then we're going to fire one single arrow at a group of monsters. Here we go. 174 starting health, one single arrow. I'm going to slow it down. Boom, back up to full health with one single shot. So you can imagine how effective that would be when you're just firing at huge mobs of enemies. And lastly, we'll take a little look at some action gameplay for this particular character. Now, the thing that I really do like about the Lightning Ranger, is basically the gameplay, the mobility, the synergy between skills. One thing I noticed in particular, quite a difference there when I was playing with the Sorceress, is that a lot of the synergistic skills for Sorceress were kind of clunky. They felt kind of clunky to use. Now, I am of course a noob, and that could just be my noobness in action, but trying out the Ranger afterwards, I really like how the whole character plays, how the skills flow with each other, and basically just the mobility, the movement, the bow. It's actually a lot of fun with the twin stick style of gameplay. That is the WASD, or twin stick style, right? Aim and point with one side and steer with your keyboard, which I gotta say has been a really fun, different, and engaging playing method. Something that I actually wished for back in the early days of Diablo, before I actually, got really used to mouse and keyboard. And then, all ARPGs kind of take on that same sort of quality. When I was designing my own game, actually this is kind of similar to what I was working on with the twin stick option and mouse option synergy. So I really like how this plays. It plays a little bit more like a shooter, a little bit more like an action shooter, but, definitely an ARPG. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm a noob, like I say, but this is a fun starting character build. Like I say, level 10, I think level 11 in this video, and you'll have a lot of fun if you jump into this character. If you're not sure what to use, jump into this character. It's a blast. It's an absolute blast to play. So, okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. All right.